Well, howdy, Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yes, indeed, the sun is shining, even if you can't see it. Might be on the other side of the planet, might be behind cloud cover, but it's still there, and the world is spinning, and we're not all dead yet. So there's good things still happening in this world, and that's a thumbs up for that. I'm awake, and I'm metabolizing. If you're watching this, hopefully you're metabolizing as well. So you see, while everything is not good in the world, it's not all horrible, and that's a good thing right there. Yay! So, real quick, just to get this out of the way, yay, thank you, YouTube. Hey, if you can interact with the YouTube algorithms, toss me a like if you like what you see and hear. That'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and you like what you hear and see, that too would be awesome. I love comments. I read every one I get. I thumbs up each one I read. I answer as many as my executive dysfunction will allow. That would be very cool. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These beautiful and awesome people are literally beautiful and awesome. They help to keep me alive, they help to keep my pets alive, and that is greatly appreciated. And I cannot remember how long I should be keeping my hands in the air, so hopefully I don't have the text over my face, or I didn't keep my hands up too long. My apologies for not being able to keep that sort of thing in my head, but thumbs up, preloading of videos over. One thing I do want to do real quick, where did this little note go? Well, I lost the little note, so saying I find it. I did get something from Amazon, from Deep Blue Hue. Thank you so much, because on my Amazon wish list, I'd had a cute plushie, and it's a cute plushie, so it got sent to me by Deep Blue Hue. It's very soft, it's from Squishable, and it's got a little tag on it still, but thank you. This thing is super soft, and it's going to have a special place on my stuff back here, because I'm going to be working today, I hope, on getting my bookcases all emptied out and then cleaned up. It's going to take a while. It's not going to be instant, but thank you so very much. I'm going to take the tag off here soon. I just haven't done that yet. It's really soft and cute. Thank you so very much. Yay! That's very cool. Past that, I've just been surviving and doing things. First off, I want to continue to say that I'm still playing Dead Island. I accidentally finished the first act of the game. Now, I say accidentally because I didn't mean to go on, but luckily, fast travel, you can go back to your previous section, and I'm going to be doing that to farm for the experience and such like that, because, oh my goodness, Act 2 is rough. It's hard. They are faster, there's a lot more of them, and now they're bringing in the deadly ones. There was a character. They first introduced this zombie. It's like a big, bulky thing inside of a suit, and that's like a mental patient of sorts. It's all bound up, and it's big. It's tank-like. Before, when I played, I always had to take these things on by hand. They were hellish. First introduction, this time I'm throwing stuff everywhere and using kick. It was up there. It turned its back, I threw something into it, boom, it fell down. One shot, one kill. It was down. And even now, I had reached a point where I was trapped. I had gotten through a whole bunch of the normal zombies, and it was rough. So I had no health packs left, half health, nothing around for me to pick up and eat so I could get healthier. And one of these big tank things, and there was no room to maneuver. I was on top of some cars, and it's around me trying to get to me. I'm getting injured as I'm fighting it. I end up throwing my stuff at it just as best as I can, and all my weapons are sticking inside of it. So I've got one weapon left, a hammer, and I had to run around the vehicles, just throw the hammer at it, and it would go, ugh, and then bounce back, take some damage. I'd have to run around the car and lure it, grab the hammer, jump back up on stuff and get it around and then throw it again. It took forever before I could get all my weapons back. But I finally took it down. Good game. I mean, it's not as good as Dying Light, because Dying Light has a lot of those quality of life changes that makes it better. Because especially in Dead Island, if you come across something that's like above your knee height, that's it. It's a wall. You can't climb on things. You can only jump. And if you can't jump over it, it's a wall. Whereas, of course, Dying Light, oh boy, parkour craziness. It is wild. But I am still playing this one and going absolutely insane while doing so, having fun. I am still the kickmaster. I mean, I have been killed a few times, and I hate that because it's ridiculous. You'll get into an area where there's 3 or 4 of them, and you're kicking them, and they're not taking any real damage. Any other time, they're going down. But now you've got 3 of them, you're kicking them, they stagger back a little bit, and then they come back for another hit. I get wiped out, I come back, they act like normal again. So there's still a lot of annoying frustrations, but past that, it's great. So hopefully today, I'm going to be able to record some of the game becoming just the kickmaster and have a montage of myself going through and doing this, because it's hysterical. I love just playing it like that, just being the kick guy. They run at me and I kick them all to death. Yay! It's a good thing. Past that, got to bed late because guess what? I was playing Dead Island. But I slept, and that's a good thing. And then yesterday it was cold, and I went for walkies, and it was nice. It had been kind of wet, but then downtown Shelton it was dry. And so it was just cold and nighttime, and it was just a nice walk. Very, very cool. Definitely did that. So I fell asleep for a short time, but I did editing, and I just want to record, get some stuff done. I know there's no great call for my material on YouTube, but I do it again, primarily for me and up here to keep myself on the straight and narrow. I need to talk. Even though I'm badly depressed, have horrible ADHD, found out that I'm autistic this year. I am an autistic person. All of these things have combined to put me where I am, but at the same time, I'm a talker. And if I can't talk, if I can't vocalize, if I have nobody to talk to, I get clogged up here and things get bad. So I vlog, I game, and I do this stuff to keep my head working right. I don't know people face to face, IRL. I spend most of my time here, except when I'm out on walkies. So it is good to be able to do things that keep my brain working properly. Thumbs up. One of the things that I do to keep my brain working properly as well, I don't do it as much during the daytime because I'm busy. And then when I go walkies, I do nothing but think about all the creative stuff, because whenever I start thinking about real life stuff, especially stuff that I can't do anything about, I just have to stop talking and thinking about that and just go, anyway, out loud. I just say, anyway, to break that line of thought, and then go on to the creative stuff. And I spend my time doing that. So let me check out my little list here, because I've got all sorts of stuff that I do want to talk about. And I mean a lot. I mean, I've already got several books worth of stuff on the whole inside-outside razor's edge thing. But as I've mentioned too, I like to have this much background material so that I can use this much of it to write the stories that uses this much of that material. But I need all of this to make this make sense so that this part all holds together. And that's why I spend so much time doing it, as well as it just being fun to make sense of something that normally wouldn't. But it does, and it's good because of that. So, last night I was also thinking, even though I've got a few characters that I've written about, well, talked about, there's Stovepipe Johnny, there's Ray and the Speleodoncus, there's the things that are happening, at the various towns, there's Ash Pines Bluff, there's Tall Ned, there's all these littler places. I've got a lot of stuff, but remember, even though I write about the Apple Rock part of the Razor's Edge, it is an infinite fractal landscape, and there is way more there than we will know. One of the major reasons that the Apple Rock Razor's Edge is the main point we go to is because it is attuned to the outside. You go straight from here to the Apple Rock Razor's Edge layer. And because that repetition and intelligence, that grinds it in and stabilizes the path. That is the main path from the outside to the razor's edge. It is the Apple Rock one because of just repetition, intelligence, and we only have one here on the outside. So there's only one path you can take here, and just through that repetition, that became the main spot. But there's an infinite fractal landscape everywhere, and there are layers that are just as big, if not bigger, with major metropolitan areas that are on other layers that we just don't see because we're attuned to the Apple Rock layer. Now, if you have a stronger sense of sight, you can manipulate some of the glamours and travel. As I've sort of mentioned, if you put numbers onto the whole sense of sight thing, which doesn't happen, but for a human sense, it gives you a view. If you have, in the sense it's binary, you either have the sight or you don't. If you don't have the sight, you cannot see, hear, touch, smell, taste, any sort of thing with the inside or the razor's edge. It just does not exist to you. When people are talking about it, they're crazy. When you do have the sight, because it's binary, you either do or you don't, but when you do, if you have a sight ability of 0 to 50, you have no real ability to do anything. You're at the behest of all the glamours and such. When you get it in your head to go somewhere and you start using the glamours, when you make a left turn somewhere, you don't really know why. You just know, oh, the glamour got me there after you've done it. When you're like 50 to 70, you can determine what's affecting you. As you're driving on, you feel that nudge and you go, oh, it's, that one thing right there telling me to move here. And so you can do that. Now, if you go to the crossroads between the razor's edge and the inside, if you have 0 to 50, all you can see are the exits that are there. If you have 50 to 70, if you have an exit in your head and you keep walking around the course, you can force through repetition that exit to that destination to appear. If you have 70 to 80, you can ride the line, which is where you are choosing the glamours to follow, because you can feel them and you can go, okay, I'm going to go to that one. And you start traveling through layers toward that particular one. If you have 90 plus, you have such control over riding the line on the glamours, you effectively cannot be jailed even. Because if you're in an area where you can even take one step, if you just close your eyes and feel the glamours, and you go, here's one, and you take one step in that direction, you're not really on the original layer where you've been jailed anymore. And you stop, feel for another glamour, and you step in that direction. And then you feel and you step in that direction. Even if you can only take one step, if you've got that much sight, you can ride the line, and each step takes you out of the original layer. After a few steps, if you were able to see, you would notice that the outside area where your cell is changing subtly. And after a few more steps, it's abandoned and empty. And after a few more steps, the door to your cage is just open and broken, and the place that you're being kept is empty and abandoned for decades. You have stepped just those tiny little ways with each 6-inch step to another layer until you find one where you're free. And then once there, you go, oh boy, I'm heading to my hideout, and then you're off to your layers. If you're that powerful, you can't even be held down. And that is better on the sight. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about, but I don't really have time today, so hopefully I'm going to remember tomorrow. I was thinking of this other character, Iron John, who is an autonomous being of power, powerful being. They coalesced like some others, but they are an artificial intelligence, a golem of sorts. And they are found at a broken down and ruined factory. The place is fallen apart, but when they wake up, they start talking to the person that found them. They were the foreman and controller of this factory, but something went wrong and they needed help. So they sent the signal off to the main factory and they couldn't leave. Something happened. They couldn't leave. And eventually well, all of the human workers died of old age, and then the robots started breaking down. So Iron John set the thing for just a signal to help and home, and then put themselves in a low power mode. And when they wake up because of someone showed up, the factory's broken, which is horrifying to Iron John, because this stuff is made out of polymers that should last hundreds of thousands of years before they even begin to lose their structural integrity. And these buildings are broken, fallen apart, overgrown, and ruined, barely visible under the encroaching vegetation. Iron John is trapped out of time, lost. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments. My community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments. There aren't many, but anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you. If I'm mispronouncing your name, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language well with my depression, fibro, everything, sometimes I'm lucky I can remember what my name is. We have Confused L29. Fog is awesome. I do enjoy it. We have Hamza ZBIRI. Thumbs up and thank you. Ben B. Always good to see you in the comments. Thank you. We have Kasik. K-A-S-I-K-K. And then there is Ko Chin. Thumbs up. And I've forgotten how to pronounce that if I even knew, but YOGESHWARAN. Thumbs up and thank you. And that is it. 6 people left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thumbs up and thank you. You get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people, if only in text and if only for a short time. Thumbs up and thank you. With my hands in the air, of course. I don't know what device you're watching this on, so I don't know if you can even access the video description, show more file. But if you can, inside there are links to all of my various channels, as well as my Twitter, Facebook, Patreon. And again, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, these beautiful and awesome people. I mean, literally, are beautiful and awesome. I would show you Little Ghost, because you helped to keep Little Ghost alive, but he's not moving around. He's sleeping right now. And you keep my kitty alive, and thank you for that. And again, I've forgotten how long I should keep my hands in the air, but thank you, each and every one of these beautiful and awesome people. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have a PayPal link. And if you'd like to help me out without becoming anything like that, or even doing anything like that, I do have an Amazon wish list link with things like cat food on it. So if you could check it out, that would be very, very cool. Now, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot or you do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. Definite thumbs up. And of course, if you hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Thumbs up for that. Yes, again, I talk with my hands. It is a stimming thing. I always have, and I've only this year found out why. So thumbs up for that. I still have not changed this. I have not emptied these out, but hopefully today I'm going to be getting that done. Started at the very least. That would be a good thing, because these are just, oh my gosh, messy. And those spider webs there, that is a huge web. I mean, it extends outward like a foot from the wall. It is huge, but while I like having it there and I like the spiders in there, I gotta clean up. So, with the covfefe bug raging, please, if you do not have to go out among the unmasked, unvaxxed, the mouth-breathing plague rats, please don't. If you do, please wear a mask, wash your hands, maintain your social distancing, try not to touch your face, get vaxxed if you haven't, get a booster if you can, hokey smokes, people. We have lost the equivalent of 20 full aircraft crashing every single day for the past 2 years. We have lost this many people in the United States alone. So please, everybody, take this serious. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. Quite frankly, I think that's a very good idea.